Yes, folks, hello, welcome once again to MoDXtra Games and Collectibles. I'm Chris, this is my channel. Absolute pleasure to have you with me here today. And as we creep to the close of 2025, ladies and gents, we've had a teensy-weensy little bit of G.I. Joe classified news. Just a little bit, but juicy nonetheless. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at that news. We're going to talk about where the news has come from, what the news is, what information was provided, and then a little bit of commentary, a few Chris MoDXtra thoughts and commentary on the information as well. So let's get into it and let's take a look at these juicy little nuggets, shall we? All right then, folks. So right now, running from today, or today is time of recording, the 4th of December to the 7th, there is the CCXP 25 convention taking place in Sao Paolo, Brazil. Hasbro are there, and they had a panel as a part of what appears to be like a little action figure brand, a series of panels that are taking place at the event. That panel was very generous and graciously streamed for us live on YouTube by a channel going by the name of Oficina dos Joes. My Portuguese accent and pronunciation is terrible, so I apologize profusely to those guys for my ignorant Englishness. However, a big shout out, very grateful to them for sharing the panel. I'll make sure there's a link to the video down below. And of course, as always, that panel from Hasbro covered the usual territory. There's a little bit of Marvel Legends stuff, a little bit of Black Series stuff, and as we're generally more interested in on this channel here, G.I. Joe classified series information. And it was just a sprinkle of stuff. I use the phrase, teensy-weensy nuggets, legitimately, from the intro there, because it was just a few little handfuls of bits and bobs, but super interesting nonetheless. The first notable thing that happened at the panel was that they announced the pre-orders opening for the H.I.S.T tank, the Arctic H.I.S.T tank. In fact, it's taken me so long to get around to sitting down in my man cave to record this video that it's moved on from announcement to the Arctic H.I.S.T tank is up for pre-order. It's going for $199 in the US, although I had a look on the UK Hasbro Pulse site and it's 220 quid over here. We've definitely got that bloody exchange rate inflation that some of you folks will have heard me talk about in the past going on. But the campaign is open. It's made to order campaign. The payment is taken at the close of the pre-order period, which, according to the clock I'm looking at on the website right now, is 31 days, 1 hour and 34 minutes left to go, which is really giving you a sense of the time and date of video recording. One thing they mentioned, and is in the blurb on the website, actually, that I thought was interesting. I was asked about this when I was taking photos of the Arctic H.I.S.T tank at the MCM London Comic Con by one of the viewers in the comments around, do the wheels, do the treads work? And yes, they do. Apparently, yes, they do. But no electronics, though, which I think we knew in any case. So, yeah, if you're in for the Arctic H.I.S.T tank, you've got 31 days from today to go and get your made-to-order pre-ordering. Then it was on to a little teaser, very similar to the neck harnessy thing, or what's believed to be a neck harnessy thing that they've been showing off at some of the earlier conventions in the year. But it was a whole new teaser this time, and it was this like little ski sled leg thing, which has got to be surely that's the swamp skier. Surely, if I was a betting man, that's got to be the swamp skier, Zartan's swamp skier, or was it? It used to be called something else. I called it the swamp skier. The chameleon? Was it the chameleon? Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's the prevailing theory around and about in the community, that this is teasing an incoming swamp skier. So that's super interesting. We've already got Zartan in the line. And of course, back in the day, originally the Swamp Skier came with a Zartan. They've announced the Ninja Force Zartan, but I'd be very disappointed if this is a deluxe set with the Swamp Skier and or a mini vehicle set with the Swamp Skier and the Ninja Force Zartan as well. I'd kind of like to have the Ninja Force Zartan separate. But they have also put Zanya on the name only list, so we could very well be getting a Swamp Skier with a Zanya on it. Either that, or, there's another Zartan coming along, perhaps a different repaint. I'm not super familiar with later iterations of Zartan, different versions of Zartan outside of the version 2, the Ninja Force one. So I don't know if there has been other Zartan looks, designs. I don't believe there wasn't a Python Patrol one, was there, or anything like that? To my recollection, at least. But correct me if I'm wrong, by all means, in the comments down below. So, and I'd be very surprised if then they did 2 Zartans, one with the Swamp Skier and the Ninja Force one. So maybe another Dreadnought. Maybe there's another Dreadnought on the way. Although who they would pair with a Swamp Skier, I'm not too sure about. If they were doing a Zanzibar, I'd expect him to be on his skiff. If they were doing a Thrasher, I'd expect him to come with a Thunder Machine. There was Heart Wrencher rumoured a long time ago on a leak list, a very long time ago on a leak list, and everything else on the leak list turned up, but Heart Wrencher never turned up. He was thought to be the second figure in the Falcon 2-pack, which then subsequently, was Quarrel and the Night Force 2-pack. So maybe Heart Wrencher will eventually appear and she's going to be mounted on the Swamp Skier. Who knows? There are other Dreadnoks from, things like the Devil's Due continuity, the random Dreadnoks that I think had been in things like the role-play game and the card game. But outside of sort of Zanya, Thrasher, Zanzibar, and Heart Wrencher, that's your sort of main headline named folks from the cartoon, the comic book, and so on and so forth. So what form it will take is anybody's guess. So let me know what your speculation is in the comments down below. However, in terms of getting back to the actual teaser image that they shared in the panel, this is clearly, I mean, I'd be shocked if it's anything other than the Swamp Skier. So it's more a question of what form will it take, I suppose the only other thing I would tentatively put on the list in terms of speculation for this, I've kind of got a bit giddy and let my own hopes for a Swamp Skier take control there a little bit, because they have leaned very heavily into the sort of Arctic theme. When I spoke to Lenny at the London Comic Con, I think he said this during the on-camera bit of conversation that I recorded on the Saturday, rather than the off-camera stuff when I was chatting to him kind of casually on the Friday. He mentioned about, the Arctic scenes appeared frequently. It was a common theme in the cartoons and in the comic books. So we can't rule out, I suppose, things like the Ski-Mobile. What was that called? The Polar Bear. Or maybe a kind of modernized, contemporized sort of husky sled for Quinn, something. So there are other possibilities, aren't there, to tentatively put on the list. Upon reflection, and while I'm speaking on a hot mic, I have perhaps let my own hopes, dreams, and desires for a really super duper complete kind of Dreadnought collection take control of my speculation there. But again, I'll reiterate, you are invited to share your speculation in the comments down below as well. Then finally, they moved on to a name-only reveal. They gave us just one single character, named just one single character this time around, and that character was Deep Six, folks. So add Deep Six to your name-only list. So that now, I think, puts the name-only list at Red Dog and Taurus, the Hydro Viper, the Ninja Force Zartan that I mentioned before, Frostbite, we know Frostbite's coming, and of course Zanya, who I mentioned a bit earlier on as well. So with Deep Six getting tagged on the bottom. So definitely enough figures there for a 2-pack, maybe Zanya with a ski, perhaps Deep Six as a deluxe. The form that this takes will be very interesting to see, like how chunky, bulky, they go with it. How the design team might modernize or contemporize it. I'd be very interested to see after what they've done with like Budo this year, for example, to see if they do something interesting, something a bit kitbashy, a bit, a little bit more deeply engaged with than perhaps just producing a figure with a head in a glass bowl or something. Certainly, it's going to be, in the deluxe price range, I imagine, alongside the likes of Budo and Heavy Duty and the like. But yeah, another one. This could very well be. I don't often, regulars around these parts know that I don't tend to go for the underwatery, aquatic-y folks, for a couple of reasons. The two main ones being that something has to give in terms of my budgetary decisions, and so there's like a little theme there that I've decided to kind of cut out the collection, but also because I think they look a bit weird on the shelf. However, I could be breaking my own rules with this one. Because I think Deep Six might not, compared to a scuba diver like Wetsuit or the Condiment 2-pack or something, he won't look quite as random, on the shelf. He'll have an interesting look and design, I suspect. Or at least I've got faith that he'll have an interesting look and design, because, as I say, I like what they've done with their deluxe releases in this space with people like Raptor, Heavy Duty that I've mentioned before, Budo that I've mentioned before. So yeah, the form that the Deep Six takes is going to be interesting. How it comes to life in the plastic 6-inch form will be curious to me. I mean, traditionally in the cartoon and in the comic books, he's sort of standard height and size, just bulkier, isn't he? I don't think they would be going to the lengths of exploring, like really bulking him out. Certainly not to the extent of a snake armor, I don't think. But time will tell. We'll see. But certainly a popular character, definitely on the list, and an interesting name only for sure. And that was it, folks. That's what they gave us at the CCXP convention in Sao Paulo. So as I said before, a couple of teensy-weensy little nuggets. But a nice little top-up nonetheless to close out the year. So lots going on. I'm going to be doing a kind of summary video that I'm working on right now. Kind of looking forward into 2026, which is going to be one part sort of reviewing what we know and one part wish listing. Wish listing. We've still not heard any word on Airtight, for example. Loads of people like going, "Where's Airtight?" No word on whether a Thunder Machine with Thrashers on the way. There's still some firmly wanted, hotly desired characters in the line, but still a lovely little top up to the list. The two teases, the kind of the neck harness thing, or what we think might be an animal neck harness thing, and now a sled, a ski sled, are definitely interesting little teases to give us a sense of the sort of breadth of stuff that we might be seeing coming in 2026. And those teases, they come to fruition quite soon, or at least historically they have. When they teased the Royal Guard, the render of the Royal Guard didn't take that long to come around. So it might not be all that long a wait before one, if not both of these kind of black and white part teases come to life for us a little bit. But there we go. There's my little summary of what took place at CCXP 25 earlier today. Thank you once again to Oficina dos Joes for sharing the stream, so I can sit down and make some notes and then prepare this little commentary video of my own. Head on down to the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on what was revealed over in Sao Paulo today. But in the meantime, keep an eye out on the channel. And I know I've gone a bit quiet because it's a busy time of year for me with Christmassy stuff. But keep an eye out on the channel for some top 10s of the year. I'm just going to do the usual YouTubey thing. Top 10s of the year. Look forward into 2026 and stuff, as well as a few other bits that I've been thinking about lately. Oh, and one final note, actually. I know I'm rambling as I close this, but McGrim Viper finally arrived. I'll not bore you with the story, but he didn't come with the other figures I pre-ordered in that wave. I know Every Man and His Dog's already reviewed it, but let me know if you'd be interested in me throwing that together maybe before the close of the year. So, okay, stop rambling, Chris. Thanks very much for coming along. Been a pleasure to have you. And if you've enjoyed the video today, do the YouTubey stuff. But all that remains to say is have yourselves a great day, and swing back around for another video sometime soon. All right, take it easy, folks.